shit, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing out there? This is Intergalactic Interviews, and this is episode 114. God damn it. How are you doing out there? Did you have a good week? Did you enjoy your life? Well, we have been enjoying our time. We're about to sit down here with the wonderful, fantastic, lovely, talented, joyful James Kennedy. Oh, man, the mouthful. And to my immediate right, we have Michael Saavedra, as always. And on the boards, we have Chris Martin, a.k.a. C-Mart. Love that guy. Before we get down to discussing this with our guest, though, today we have a sponsor. Only one read today. We have a great opportunity you guys should check out. If you have not yet, you should immediately pause this and go to floathouse.ca. What's that mean? Floathouse.ca. It's fantastic. It's the world. I don't think I could say the world. I think I could say maybe it is
in your world.
Let's say in my world, the premier float isolation tank experience. We'll say that. It's definitely the Lower Mainland and Alberta's premier isolation tank experience. I think that if you have the opportunity to check it out, you should. Floathouse has many locations with knowledgeable people and staff, and a very clean facility with an excellent customer service base. If you have the time, make sure you go to floathouse.ca. And if you're so inclined, you can even save yourself some money by using our podcast promo code. Now, Saavedra, what is that podcast promo code?
That would be II Podcast.
Goddamn right, it's II Podcast, and you get 20% off your next float. Very, very easy to do. We're basically giving it away, folks. It's fantastic. You should check it out, floathouse.ca. It's amazing. We float. You should float. Try it out. Check it out. Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Have anybody ever made like the it joke there? Do you say that? We
What's
all float down here.
Oh, we all float.
This place, man. I do you think the people that work here ever crave stress? Like, you know what I mean? Like they just like after 8 hours of just being so calm and like just like at peace, they're like, man, I just need someone to like cut me off in traffic or something. Like I'm missing that from my life.
That'd be a weird experience if you were so relaxed that you started like
like if you never had any stress, you're just like I don't know, it's just so mellow and
you
relaxing.
Started craving the chaos of life.
Yeah, like I need to jump in a mosh pit or
come visit my life. James Kennedy said. I don't like how calm and relaxed this is. Have you ever floated? Have you floated?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
You have floated before.
Yeah, it's dope.
Have you floated since you were on last time with the boys? No,
I want to get a group on and come here actually because
it's pretty badass. Yeah, you could just use our podcast promo code.
Yeah,
James Kennedy. I'm sure we could actually hook you up with something if you.
I'll use the promo code and come here because when I did it, I didn't realize that you turn the lights off on the inside until like 20 minutes in. And I was like, I shouldn't be bright in here too. And then I was like, oh, there's a lights. Oh, that makes sense.
Oh,
and
right. Okay, hold on. So you had lights in the tank
until you hit a switch.
So the tank you were in had light.
It was just like a dim blue light, and I was like, I feel like it should be completely dark in here. And then I found a switch, and like, yeah, it was. We told you.
There is interior lights that you can put on. They're like kind of safety lights in case, like because not everyone's comfortable being in complete nothingness. Like
that's
it is an overwhelming.
And the guy
feeling.
told us, he's like, there's a switch when you get in there, you lay down, then hit the switch.
Right.
And I just didn't hit the switch.
Do you know what happens?
Paying attention
In the orientation video, if I recall correctly, they say here at Floathouse that they give you like a number of pieces of linen, like your own house coat and all this stuff, and slippers and everything. But they give you like a roll of like a hand-faced towel kind of thing, and they tell you like to roll it and put it in the door of the actual tank so you can let a little crack of light in if you don't want the full immersion effect, because it's still very powerful.
But you
experience.
want the full immersion. It's awesome.
It's kind of like
I started getting like the squiggly lines going on, like red and blue happening.
Really?
And stuff. Yeah.
Wow. So you had like a transcendental experience.
Yeah. That's
pretty incredible.
But I tried to like. I was like, I'm gonna work on jokes while I'm doing this, but no. It's just
if you go in there with a plan, it often becomes unraveled pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was just like, oh no, I'm just gonna be completely.
Yeah, you're gonna rewalk your childhood really quick.
Yeah,
that's good. Well, hey man, let me ask you this. A lot of things happening recently. I can't start this without asking you some important James Kennedy type questions. Some things that I think you would have answers for. Now, recently, outspoken producer, musician, vocalist, fashion mogul, Kanye West.
Icon. Greatest artist of our generation.
Best.
My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Now that you've accepted him into your heart.
Yeah.
He recently, had a couple random kind of show experiences, like, to say the least.
Random.
Also didn't vote.
People that, if you're living under a rock, you know what we're talking about. Basically, Kanye like ended a couple concerts early, but powerfully. The last one, the Sacramento concert, I think, was particularly powerful. Enough that Mr. Snoop Dogg / Lion decided to let everyone know that this motherfucker's crazy. Like, when Snoop says you're crazy, I don't know.
And that's what it is, though, because it was just announced within the last hour that he's been committed to a hospital. Did
that just happen?
That's just a guy who's bipolar going fully manic.
Hold on.
Like, that's what I think is it's like, all our geniuses were crazy.
Of course.
And have mental illness. And everyone's like, he's such an... I'm like, he makes a great album, then he loses his mind because he works too hard, and he's probably drinking and not taking care of his body. And
Holy shit, look at this. Kanye
I guarantee you he's like full-on bipolar. Now everyone's going to be like, oh, mental health awareness month.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
He talks about Lexapro and all that stuff.
On Life of Pablo. Didn't he?
Like,
He did say that. Well, here, I'm literally just reading this now.
Yeah, I just
you
found
didn't
out.
know this either, right?
No.
It says here, reports Kanye West hospitalized in LA after canceling the remainder of his tour 8 minutes ago. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're right. You're on the cusp. You're on the breaking news cusp,
oh, man,
James
everything
Kennedy.
Kanye. Are you kidding me?
Jesus. I didn't realize you...
breaking
I've
news
never
alert
done
on
it.
your phone.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
funny,
realize
though.
you-
Like, I'm
He's wearing fucking Yeezys right now. Look at this. Like...
I'm like my buddy Cody called me a Kanye West apologist the other day in a roast battle because there's nothing you can I defend him no
That's
matter
funny,
what.
man. Yeah,
I'm like a Trump supporter, but with Kanye. Like
sometimes
like,
Who is also a Trump
was,
supporter.
Yeah. Well, no, what he said was, but they took it all out of context because he's like, I'm sick of the Democrats just acting like you automatically get the black vote. He's like, you don't automatically get the black vote. You put up, we wanted Bernie, and you gave Hillary, and you act like you, and he's like, and then that's why I would have voted Donald Trump because like,
agree.
fuck you if you're not, and then they just cut it all out and they just get Donald Trump or Kanye West going, I would have voted for Donald Trump. I would have voted for Donald Trump. They cut out the whole spiel. I'm like, he rants for 20 minutes. He's a genius.
Preach, James Kennedy.
Yeah. You ever listen? It's a good thing you want to listen to? Bret Easton Ellis has a podcast and he does 2 episodes with Kanye. Listen to that and listen to 2 of the most creative geniuses just like admiring each other. Like his ego is gone. You're like, yeah, this guy's still.
He's very, okay, because when you talk about being a Kanye West apologist,
allegedly,
I'll just say this: like, when I heard his rant against Sway on Sway in the Morning, people.
I love when people snap on Sway.
Right, because Sway, he's been like dreadlock Sway all the way back, way back. Like
Sway and Tech.
He's been around. Like Sway and Tech is like such. Let's talk about icons. Like these are like.
Yeah.
Especially in the infrastructure of urban journalism, hip hop media kind of stuff, like he's the Cronkite of this shit. Like he's very much involved. But the thing about this is, maybe Tim Westwood actually would get a little nod. Tim Westwood would probably get
Tim
the
Westwood.
Cronkite nod. Anyway, that's beside the point. But when I saw Kanye go off on him, I didn't like the way he delivered the "you don't got the answers" Sway. I didn't like that, but. Everything he was saying prior to that, I was actually agreeing with Kanye a bit.
Everything.
I was, and I felt weird. And then here's the thing. We talked about this just last week, how weird it is lately, ever since the Trump victory into the election, how tight-lipped everyone gets a little bit. Like, you don't want to come off this weird dichotomy people have created that, like, if you support one aspect of one person's character, then you totally co-sign everything about them. And it's like, no, I agree with Kanye up until this point. Maybe he shouldn't have canceled the concert early. Just saying.
But I'm like, that's like to me. I'm like, well, yeah. Tell that to Guns N' Roses or tell that to Led Zeppelin. Talk to like any great. They all did that. Every single one of them's done it. Where like, yeah, they went on stage 2 hours late and they played for five songs. Then unless you're talking about Bruce Springsteen or like maybe U2, but like every other major rock star had their meltdown. Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails, they all had their meltdown stage. Where it's like, yeah, they came out completely wasted, kicked over the drums, and walked off stage.
Big time. And
everyone's done that. But then it's
so
like
well documented.
But then when Kanye West does it, it's like we gotta have 18 million blogs about it. And when he says, we're focusing too much energy. We're always just talking about racism. We're just dwelling on racism. I'm not saying stop fighting racism, but he's like, racism's always going to be around. We got to find other ways to better ourselves and come above racism. And then you see the article and it's like Kanye West says racism doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Pro-Trump or whatever. You're like, come on, like. At least listen to the whole thing.
Kanye West doesn't care about black people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
some shit like that. Yeah, you're totally bang on about that though, because actually, I was reading the transcript of what he was saying in the rant on the Sacramento show, and when he said, "Beyonce, I literally jumped on stage and took shit for 7 years about snatching a mic away from you. I became like a living meme."
Yeah.
People were so upset at just the utterance of my name. People have called me an asshole and have completely minimized and discarded.
The president
called it. Like, the fact that all of his accomplishments have been just completely under so much scrutiny ever since he did this like mic upstaging kind of thing on Taylor Swift a few years ago.
And he was right, for the record. He was 100% right.
Yeah,
How dare you? Taylor Swift is the best.
No one
C-Mart, known Tay supporter.
Yeah, but what happened in the what was the video that she beat Beyonce for?
A better one, whatever it was.
Well, it was I think it's called "You Belong with Me." What happens in that music
song.
video? What happens in the music video?
Is that the one where she's a cheerleader across the
I don't
door?
know. I don't know. What's the single ladies Beyonce video? Everybody knows that video. It's one of the greatest music videos of all time. He was right. 20 years from now, people will still remember that Beyonce video.
That is true.
They forgot about that Taylor Swift video 1 year later. Nobody gave a fuck.
You watch that Beyonce
C-Mart
video? You watch that Beyonce? C-Mart won't forget. He's like, T-Swizzle killed it. That Beyonce video is fucking incredible, though. It's like one shot. Incredible.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible.
It was just three powerful women just dancing, and it was like
flawlessly
iconic.
captured.
I don't think I've ever seen either video.
Saavedra.
You would see it. Like there were
Queen
so
Bee
many
supporter.
parodies. Like
Yeah.
SNL did it,
Yeah.
and so many.
You'd know it if you saw Screen Cap Killer.
They just shake and shimmy.
But the thing is, like, he was right about that, right? but he's standing on stage and he's trying to, like, the thing is, he's not communicating in a way that I guess everyone's listening to him. But I understand what the fuck he's saying. He's saying, Beyonce, I went out there and I took the fucking rap for you. Literally, I took the heat for the last 7 years for this, and then I find out that Beyonce, he's talking about Beyonce, he's like, I find out that you have been like politicizing things behind the scenes, and you said you won't appear at the next MTV Music or whatever the fuck next award show unless you win the award. Like you won't perform unless you win the award. He's like, I don't even do that shit.
Yeah, well,
and I was like, damn. That says a lot. Doesn't that say a lot?
But I don't know, what is he telling the truth? That's the difference.
Well, doesn't that say a lot now? Though let's get even deeper. Didn't Jay-Z and Beyonce not attend Kim Kardashian and Kanye's wedding?
I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
Ooh, shit.
You know what's funny though with Kim Kardashian is since that robbery, she hasn't touched social media. She hasn't been on any television appearances. She's been completely, and still people are acting like she has an effect on their lives. Like people are still writing, "Fuck Kim Kardashian." She shuts a bit. She's been gone for 6 months. How is this woman hurting you? What is she doing that affects you?
I don't think it's about affecting. I think at this point,
This is so funny though. Every podcast I do, I end up just getting passionate about Kanye
Kim-
West.
Kanye
I'm almost like, I hope they don't talk about Kanye. And then right off the top,
known
all right.
apologist
Yeah.
James Kennedy. I was just gonna say, everyone talks about, Kim Kardashian. She's so successful because she's this brand. She's like this perfect brand, and it's like she is maybe now, but like everyone like glosses over the fact that like no. She's the girl that Ray J banged out on tape, and she had a better sex tape than Paris Hilton, and so it was all the rage at the time, and everyone was waiting for a Lindsay Lohan tape, and it never came. So they gave her all the Kim Kardashian attention.
But I always feel like, I mean, like, who was it? Was it this woman that was already a multimillionaire, or was it this failing R&B singer who was trying to make a comeback in his career that leaked that videotape?
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, but like, when's the last song you heard from Ray J?
That was,
and I'm like,
oh, I hit it first. That was probably the last.
And I'm
but even that's
like,
based on this event.
And then I just think something negative. Like if I was going to look at it, I'd say something negative happened to her. She was the victim of a sex crime, and then she turned it to a positive and made it an empire for her entire family.
Jesus.
That if I was going to defend her, and I would say, well, she tried to sue the guy. She tried really hard to sue the guy behind the sex tape, and then Paris Hilton, her best friend, told her went to that other loot.
You would need all.
And said, "This is the deal you do, so you make royalties off of it."
Oh, that was it. That was the background.
She tried to sue them.
You would need all of the armor polish in the world to wear that white knight suit to get that over with the people and be like, well, she was a sex crime victim.
I
she made it.
And then I just think, like she dominates. Just like her skill with social media. It's like Donald Trump. Like say what you want, he out Twittered everybody this year.
Big
like
time.
he just killed everybody on Twitter. Yeah.
league.
And it was just like Obama won social media the years before when everyone's like, oh, look at these. Everyone's Instagramming. They got memes made
Did
up
you
for
know
Obama. And then when
Obama
it came,
has a Spotify playlist, you're like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
totally.
Right?
And
yeah.
like he out social media'd all his competitors, and then Donald Trump's like, I'm just gonna out kill everyone on Twitter, and he just destroyed everyone.
Do you think noted racist Hulk Hogan could have gotten points on the back end of his sex tape?
Notice racist
Yeah.
and recently champion killer of Gawker, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, right, because he sued them, right? And
He ended
won.
up. How much did he
won,
get?
yeah.
Saavedra, how much did he get?
He killed
he-
the studio.
Well, he was
The whole
awarded
company.
150 million, but then he only ended up getting about 30 million, I think.
You're a
What?
wrestling fan?
Oh, big time.
Big
We
time
are-
wrestling
yeah, we
fan?
are, yeah,
you
yeah.
both are wrestling fans?
Yeah.
I just watched that clip of Goldberg.
Last night?
Yeah. I don't want like that was
Those
like
guys watching, man, Goldberg squashed Brock Lesnar last night, son. That's what you call a squash. That's a squash booking.
Yeah.
I don't know how are you into wrestling?
I used to be like until I was
Okay.
in grade
Should
8.
have called him Gold Dad.
Yeah.
He's old.
So that was what I was just like, whoa, Goldberg looks the same as he did when I was in grade 10.
First of all, he hasn't. Yeah, he looks good for like his age, but
Yeah.
he hasn't been in the ring since 2004. Mm-hmm. And
No, even further back. I think it's 2002.
no, well, he did that.
it was
little
12
spot.
years. They said 12 years.
That's about what? That's 2004.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with math.
Yeah. I just saw the clip. It was like Goldberg returns after 12 years and then
By God.
takes out a guy that's way bigger than him in 1 minute.
Who's an actual killer? Who can
Yeah.
actually simulate death on you?
Yeah.
Who can, you know, like an actual killer. That's the strange thing about this is, see, this is where, like, I almost love the politics behind professional wrestling more than I actually love the actual. Like, I love the act of it. Like, I love the art of it. But think about this. What is the financial end game of this? That you take one of your biggest draws, Brock Lesnar, and you squash him with an old man who was one of the biggest draws, but
Yeah.
is not an active wrestler, is the definition of a part-time wrestler, which is actually what Brock is. So what is this? Are they setting up like a WrestleMania match? What the fuck is going to shake of this, right? Because
Is
what it-
Goldberg supposed to be fighting more?
Yeah.
now?
yeah, apparently
Oh, I
he did
see.
sign. He
Was
signed up
it
for
in-
Royal
The
Rumble.
Berg
Right?
is signed for
Was it an
Royal
actual
Rumble.
match though, or did
Yeah.
just Berg come
not
out
only
and
was
crush
it
him?
not only was it an actual match, it was fucking. They built it up like promoted it for like 8 weeks or some shit. Right? It was like a good
It lasted
chunk.
80 seconds.
And yeah, it's
great.
Fucking Saavedra told me he was like fixing his plate for dinner, and like in the other room, it's over, babe.
No, I was just fixing. The one that got me the hardest ever in wrestling was the what was it, like the poke of death by Hulk Hogan
Oh,
when
yeah.
he did it on
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Nash when it was
Yeah.
like watching NWO for like a year and a half
Yeah.
building up to that thing, and then it was just like he just poked him. And
The
it was-
infamous finger poke of doom.
is that what it's
And
called?
that-
The finger poke of doom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like what, a week after like Kevin Nash beat Goldberg for the first time.
Yeah.
I
That's
couldn't.
true.
I remember like I was in
Not
grade
a-
8 and just
yeah.
like my head was like imploding. I was just
Not
like,
only that,
what?
but you remember when the week
It was
before
all
that,
the ruse so that
Yeah.
Hulk could get the
Right?
belt back.
'cause, like just nuclear heat, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Kevin Nash defeating Goldberg to end that streak. People are like listening home. Fucking read a book. Goldberg was on a 200-0 streak or some
Read
shit
a
like that.
book.
Yeah. The autobiography of Goldberg.
Read a wrestling book. I was gonna say that like that match though was fucking crazy entertaining. It was for what it was, and I don't know. So the best performers right. Oh, actually, hey, this actually happened. I wanted to bring this up anyway, so this is kind of a weird segue. I was at the barber last week. I go in and it's like one of these dead quiet barber shops, and I'm used to like
Weird.
lively like chatting.
Yeah,
with
that's.
everyone.
I don't like that.
Right. Well, you don't like chatting.
I'm not a chatterer in
No,
the
I don't.
chair.
I don't like chatter, but I don't like silence either.
Well, it was silent, and I walked in, and one of the guys who didn't have like a client was like flipping through channels, and then he stopped on Raw, on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like I haven't seen anyone watch that in public, and like especially at work, right? So
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in so long. So I commented on it, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, maybe Kevin Owens is gonna be on because he's from Canada and we love him. He's currently Universal Champion. He's like the guy. So I was like, oh, and so this barber starts talking about it. And it just starts all this chatter, and all the chairs start getting into it. Oh, I remember Stone Cold. I remember
Yeah.
and everyone starts like kicking in their little memory. And I thought I was like that's kind of fucking. This is like a little feeling of like how it was a little bit in the Attitude Era, where like it's not as, quote unquote uncool, socially unacceptable. Like
Yeah, and also I think it's just like a lot of people are in, like, it's just a thing that when you find a group of people that are into the same thing, it's like, oh shit, like it.
Like we both, like everyone in this room, we all personally know wrestlers. Like we all know guys that wrestle. We all know guys that are like, it's.
I'm good. I know the ladies' choice.
Ladies'
Travis
choice.
Scott.
Yes.
Post that photo today.
Yeah, that's my dude. Like
That's
when
it.
I go on the road with him, like we stay like in the same hotel room and stuff because like he does comedy. I'll bring him like opener and like.
Ladies' Choice did probably one of my favorite intros ever on Steel Toes Required.
Oh yeah, the voicemails.
Yeah.
He sent me one. He sent me one recently.
He sent you a personal one.
Yeah, and it's like it's the macho. It's like he took a clip of Macho Man Randy Savage, but it's his voice.
Oh,
and he's
fuck.
just like, you got a 6-pack of beer, I got a 6-pack of abs. And he's like,
What did he called Stephen McNeil on the show. He's
Stephen
like,
Dress Shoes McNeil.
I'm here with Stephen Dress Shoes McNeil. Fuck, hilarious.
Yeah, when I was with him on the road, like I was just like,
Ladies' Choice.
getting so many telling me stories about like Jim the Anvil Neidhart way after the WWF years.
Shit.
Like I can't repeat some of the things he was just saying about like different guys, but I was like, whoa.
His daughter wrestles now. His daughter
Neidhart's?
Natalia, right?
Yeah.
Natalia, and she wrestles with like the Hart name,
Oh wow.
doesn't she? Yeah, right.
And she comes from she trained at the house. She got stretched by
In the dungeon.
Stretched in the dungeon.
I think she's actually a Lance Storm.
Oh, Lance Storm product.
Oh.
Just same as beautiful Billy Swade.
A lot of the guys from
That's right. A lot of I think we got
the
that.
local wrestlers.
That's right. Hey, you know what? I'd be remiss right now if I didn't start peppering this into the show and let people know that on December 8th through 10th, people can check you out in Vancouver at Yuks Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then the following week on the 15th to the 17th, I believe.
Good for you, right off the top of the head, yeah.
At Yuks Abbey.
Yeah, I'll be headlining the shows there in Abbotsford.
James Kennedy, don't give me compliments about remembering stuff. This is the easiest job in the world. I have
Yeah.
one thing to remember. In
Oh,
fact,
still,
it'd be shitty if I could.
When you said it, I was like, yeah, that's right. Like I had to wait for you to
I
finish.
am going to be there.
Yeah.
You didn't stop me, so I was like, okay, this must be right.
Yeah.
I was okay. I think people should check you out live because and by we I mean all of us here at the show, we have you like circled all the time as like, oh my God, you're like one of the guys we have to watch all the time. You're fucking hilarious. You're one of the consistently great comics in the city.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean, words get thrown around a lot about like up and coming, fast riser.
Yeah.
That kind
Oh,
of
your
stuff.
next comedian's one of the fastest rising comics.
Yeah.
I like when they just change the
He's
region
a
of-
wild man,
Well,
James Kennedy.
It'll be like your next comedian is one of the fastest rising comics in Vancouver, and then you'd be like your next comedian is one of the fastest rising comics in Western Canada,
Yeah.
and then one of the fastest rising comics in Canada.
Yeah. They
Amazing.
drew,
Western
Mom.
Hemisphere.
Yeah, and then eventually,
they drew a real hard line at like the Manitoba border, I guess. They're like, in Western Canada, he's one of the hardest risers. In Ontario, though, he's not. He doesn't
well,
have
that's good. Like that
anything.
just kind of shows where your tours are going. You know, like at first you're just like you're like, oh man, he's one of the fastest rising comics in Vancouver and parts of northern BC and
Yeah.
sometimes the islands. Like,
Northern BC.
and then it's like, oh, he's one of the fastest rising comics that also goes to Calgary twice a year. And
Yeah.
Edmonton twice a year.
He's got a good Calgary run, kind of.
Yeah.
Out there.
Big Iqaluit.
You do have like some pretty rad accolades though in the last couple of years though. Like we should maybe let people know that. I might get the years wrong, so you can help me out. But People's Champ of Comedy.
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
And
last year they had it.
they didn't have it last year. That's right. They
That
didn't
was
have
the last year, 2014.
Yeah.
I'm the reigning champ.
That's right. Undefeated.
But they gave you like a giant trophy when you win it. And then I had it for like the year went by. And then I was like, so am I not getting rid of this trophy? Like,
Yeah,
it's,
like
it's,
you-
it's stupid.
Do you
big.
still have
Do
it?
I
then?
have to keep
No, I
this?
did when I used to run King's Head Comedy. We did a People's Champ show because it was Patrick Malia, a comedian
right,
thing.
yeah.
So then we just had every past winner on the show, and then I had Patrick headline it, and he just told the story about it was a crazy story about running the competition. And then when he finished his set, I was like, "Take your fucking trophy." But at first, I took it and got my name engraved on it because he's like,
Oh,
"Oh, we
nice.
give it to you, and then at the end of the off time, we'll get your name engraved on it for the next person." I
Oh,
was like,
nice.
"I'm making sure my name's
That's
on it
nice. Yeah. That's
before I
cool.
give it back."
It's not like a towel rack or something now, is it? Or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that?
who knows?
Yeah. That's actually, it's funny. We haven't had Patrick on the show, and it seems like at this stage we should have had him on the show. I think we tried at one point.
Of course.
We
That was
did actually
That was a
try.
Bane impression for
Yeah,
all the
of course.
Vancouver comics.
Of course. And I'd be like, do you think we could get him on? You're like, of course. It would be painful.
you was wondering why you haven't booked him already.
Yeah.
I can't really do the voice, but Patrick can.
Yeah, it would be painful for you. I was like, shit. Yeah, no, I think we just had schedule issues the first time. That's what it was, and we just never kind of reached out. But I think I got to ask you this. Recently on the podcast, we were talking about A Tribe Called Quest's new album. Digging it myself.
Yep.
But the people we had on the show were not really hip hop listeners, but knew like, can I kick it? And, that kind of stuff. Good on them. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they were like, what do you feel about this? Because it was right on the beacon, like the week before the SNL slot.
Yeah.
So they were
That's
like,
when the album dropped. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they were like, what do you think? They're asking me, and I was like, well, in my heart, no Fife, no Tribe. But then I know Fife's all over the album in like previously recorded stuff. But what I'm saying is this, okay? I said this. I caught a little bit of flack for it, but I want to know what you think. Because earlier we were talking about massive rock star egos and things like that. It is of my opinion, personally, as a producer, that I think Q-Tip is one of my favorite producers ever.
Oh, totally.
Fucking incredible. I explained... I don't want to bore people because you can go back to that episode and listen to it.
You say Modesty, how it just says produced by the UMA or produced by Tribe?
Well,
when you're always like, we know you made the beat, Q-Tip.
You're
like,
right. Just so you know, you're in the boat.
And
you were going on the same stream. Here we go. I told this story on one of the last shows with Spree Killers. It's like episode 110 or 12 or 11 or something. I told about the stop tape, the play stop. People don't know that. Yeah. You, I think, were the one, James Kennedy, who put me onto this.
Because was it off Illmatic?
Illmatic.
He made One Love.
That's
with
right.
The stop tape.
Now, people don't know what that is. It's like nowadays you can like sample many ways with like different devices or like just a mic or like computers have made things completely different.
Put it on a screen, chop it up.
Yeah, but on the time he basically used like a little
Control-C, Control-V, right?
Right.
Like copy paste.
And he used like
two cassette tapes
and then played
them into a different recorder.
Right. And you listen to that song and you're like, what? Like once you know, like, you know, I gave a shitty analogy. I was like, that'd be like if I took these two salt rocks basically and made a song out of it. Like,
it's just even just how frustrating that would be to like take a small snippet of an old song and then find that cool loop, then add all the effects to it and everything that he does to it.
So with that being said, clearly my respect level for this guy is pretty high, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I then went on to say that, he might be Q-Tip, might be the Axl Rose of fucking Tribe Called Quest. He might be.
Oh, his ego?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. He's definitely got that same thing too.
I'm glad you agree with me because I went on a limb to say that.
That's what the whole rift between the group. That's what broke them up.
Big time.
But then it's also like he makes the beats. He has the more memorable verses. He wrote the hooks. Like you're like. Fife's whole thing on tour should just been thank you, Mr. Q-Tip, for letting me be a part of this. Like that's how I feel. I feel like his whole after every album, he should just be like, man, thank you so much for letting me.
I hear you.
Be here because they get brought in. They brought in Consequence. They kicked him out. Nothing changed. He did Q-Tip Amplified. Great album.
That's true. Yeah.
Great album. Fife Dog did a solo album.
Not as good.
I know Dylan made some beats for it. I can't remember a single song from it. But I know Let's Ride is fucking classic, and I know Vibrant Thing and all those.
I remember the Fife album instrumentals.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, those dope beats.
This is not going well. I'm sounding like I don't like them. But look, the top point I'm trying to make here though is that like.
But he's a control freak, and thank God he is because he
is really good at what he does. I'll just say this though, with Fife no longer capable of even interjecting, say, even a minority government opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Like, to not even, he's already overruled on everything, basically, anyway. But, like, the fact that he doesn't have that anymore at all, and now he's just free to, like, use Fife's verses as he wishes.
But I don't think they're going to, that album was half recorded by the time when Fife died. Like, Fife came up with the name. They did a reunion show on Conan, and they went to the studio, and they'd been working on that in secrecy for like 6 months all together with Jerobi and
Yeah.
Phife Dawg and Q-Tip. And
Even
then,
that was crazy with
and then
Drogi.
yeah, that's what I think
Yeah.
is so great. And then Phife
Yeah.
and then Phife died, and then the Q-Tip just finished off like the last 5 songs. That's
Yeah.
why there's those songs without him. But
Do you have a favorite Phife Dawg bar? Let's give him some love.
my I love. See, a lot of people don't like the Love Movement, and that's one
Yeah.
of my favorite Tribe albums. Like all Jay Dilla and Q-Tip beats. Like
Damn.
it's so good. I love that album, and I love Fife's song. My name.
That's
is
a
Mighty-
maverick opinion right there.
Yeah, I love that album so much. My name is Mighty Ranks. Where that song where he's like, oh, how does it go? Oh, I can't remember how it goes, but
you know when he my favorite bar from Phife is very simple, but riding on the train when you're without no dough sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't maybe sound like the craziest line, but in the song, as it flows out,
Oh, yeah.
it's just like it
Riding
hits
on the
you
train
really like
without
you're
dough.
like you're like it does suck because everyone's kind of been there where you're just like fuck. Like,
I'm trying to think. I
looking
got
around at all these other broke motherfuckers.
because I mean, they say like the classic lines too. The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business.
Oh, yeah.
I float like gravity. No, that doesn't make sense.
he
That's
does-
always bothered me. I float like gravity.
He does have
that's
some,
the opposite of gravity with their Phife.
There's some pretty weird bad bars out there. Like,
Oh.
you know that the
Biggie one?
Yeah, you're nobody till somebody kills you. On that song, Biggie says,
You look so good.
"Well, I suck your daddy's dick."
Yeah.
That is a weird bar,
But-
I get what he's saying.
Do you? Yeah, and also I didn't know this.
C-Mart probably first time hearing.
He goes,
that
when I
bar.
first saw you, my first thoughts was shit. You look so good, I'll probably suck your daddy's dick. Which is I always thought like that's so fucked. But then I found out it's a really popular joke because I was listening to it from a Richard Pryor album that came out.
Oh,
he's
shit.
referencing a Richard Pryor joke, and that's why it's always just like
Oh, I didn't.
it's all people our age that listen back like what a weird fucking line. And then
Do you know
every
what
black
album that
person
is?
at that time was like, this is a great fucking reference. That's a funny.
That's crazy that this came back to comedy. Like, wait, do you know what album that is? From?
I know it's one of the ones that I couldn't say. You know what I mean?
There you
It's
go.
it's one of those 3 albums
Super
with
Nia?
yeah, it's one of those 3 albums with a title I can't say.
We'll get Quasey Thomas in the room here.
Yeah.
he'll clear.
Yeah,
us.
it was just with boom batter, watch your teeth shatter. All that shit you pop in your jams, it won't matter. But your whole krill, now that your joint shatter. I'm the captain of the ship. Fuck go William Shatner. I love
Oh,
that whole
shit.
verse. Yeah.
See, that's real dope. People that
Yeah.
have listened at
People
home,
stop sleeping on the love movement. It's great.
the delivery on that. Well, I mean, even now, it's probably going to get the most love right now. Like this is kind of a renaissance. of
Yeah.
sorts right now. for
But
them.
everyone thought that album was trash. It's great.
That's why I'm like, that's a maverick opinion.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know if it was,
beats, rhymes, and life. I
Yeah.
get it. It's pretty middle of the road. There's nothing really stands out to it. But I love those Jay Dilla beats.
Low End Theory all day for me. Low
Yeah.
End Theory. I feel like, you could play that at my funeral and I'd be.
That was always
cool
my
with it.
yeah. And I mean, even though I think Midnight Marauders might be a more solid album, Low End Theory is to me just the one that I.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Only because, especially if you watch interviews at that point, Q-Tip had a real just wait and see kind of like he's like, oh, if you guys think like El Segundo is like the craziest shit, he's
Yeah.
like, just wait from like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, brings me to another point here, like within the sonic realm of music and hip hop, what are like the kind of artists that like you are inspired by recently? Like you listen to and you're like, oh, dope. I like
Anderson .Paak, number
too.
one,
Big time.
Anderson .Paak is like I'm just so
Oh.
amazed by him. And I got to perform at Pemberton this year, so I got an artist pass.
That's right,
And
yeah.
so I got to stand on stage and watch him perform, and I was just like he's the craziest good drummer. Like he's an amazing drummer, and he's doing like these crazy drum fills whilst rapping and singing the whole time with a live band.
So
You're like,
good.
how is this guy so fucking talented? And then I went back to the artist lounge area because you get free food and free beer. It's amazing.
Hi, I'm
And-
James Kennedy. I'm just
yeah,
here.
totally. And I'm like, I was just like, hey, Tyler, the Creator. I'm just like
Yeah.
walking by, like, and then I
He's
saw
like, "What's
Anderson
up?"
.Paak, and he had like a big plate of ribs, and I'm like, I don't want to, I can't. I just went up to him, I was like, hey, man, album of the year, 2016. You have the best album of the year. And then he like put his food down. He like grabbed my hand. He's like, thank you, brother. That means so much to me. I was
That's
like,
rad,
he's
man.
fucking modest too. Like, damn it.
He's one of the
like
good
super
guys, man.
humble, like so humble. Like he grabbed my hand in a way, like made me melt. I was like, oh, you're fucking the dopest.
Oh, you're a
dude.
sweetheart too.
Yeah, he's
Well,
just
he's one of the good guys.
he kills it on the Tribe album too.
I read this really, really good feature piece on him, probably about like, it was like a long, like, it was like 20, for the internet era, it was like, what, 20 pages or something.
Yeah.
And his whole rise out of the LA scene, where he said he wanted to be like this conduit between the underground and mainstream, like where he could do a joint with Mac Miller,
Yeah.
and then turn around and do like, Taylor Swift, C-Mart.
Yeah. His first album, Venice, like I like it, but it's not. He did that album.
He
He did those
leveled
songs
up.
with Dre, and then he was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna
Maybe
make
he's
it bang.
Maybe he's taking Brock Lesnar's cycle steroids. Maybe that's how.
Yeah.
he's
Have you heard
like,
NX Worries? It's his new album.
his newest shit that like
Kendrick, Anderson .Paak. It's like it came out like a month ago.
with Kendrick?
No, it's him and a producer, and they call it NX Worries, but it's just like an Anderson .Paak album.
In the feature, he did talk about how he's going back with his like first guy or whatever.
Yeah, so they're called NX Worries. They they have an EP and an album.
because it's like North. NX is like the North. North
even
by
know.
something. I don't know, something like that. I am literally remembering an article I read once.
Yeah, he's
Poorly, I might add.
he's definitely the guy that I'm like right now. Just
I love everything, man.
I'm also like I finally.
What's your guilty pleasure right now? What's your guilty pleasure song you listen to? You're like, I can't believe I like this, but I love it.
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, I see that.
I'd have
smile.
to. I know I gotta have to think, but I like Danny. I like Danny Brown's new album a lot.
Yeah,
too.
dude.
Like, and
Danny Brown might be the top of everyone's guilty pleasure list.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, this is not like if I was in the car with my mom, she'd be like, "What the fuck are you listening to?" And I'm like, "I know, you're right. This is bad. Like I know."
Beat the pussy
like,
up like
he's
it's Novocaine.
he's really good, but it's just like his voice. Sometimes you're like, "What are you listening
Works
to?"
really well when I'm playing Battlefield.
Yeah, Spotify's always trying to put me on to. Hey, you
That
like the
Danny Brown
hippity
album,
hop?
It worked perfectly because
Yeah, I can't lie. Like, I'm
Can't
thinking
focus
about
on what he's saying. Fucking.
my list right now on my title account is like it's pretty solid. It's just.
Look at this guy, this fancy title.
Yeah, I paid $20. You know what?
Look at this guy.
The art, because then you get Neil Young, and
you
you
got
get
title
Prince,
money.
and the artists get real money. You did get. I used to buy it all from iTunes, and I was always like, Spotify is ripping artists off, and then
How dare you stream shame me on my
that's
own
why
show.
Neil Young and shit will be on titles because they don't fuck over
No,
the
I know.
artists.
Fuck yeah.
And I can like listen to comedy albums, and I get my Kanye album updated all the time
My only.
because he's always making changes, man. It's crazy. Like
is true.
It's always a new. Like every week, I'm like, he added a new line to the Chance verse. Like the beginning of Chance's verse on the album. He added like all this other shit's going into it, and it keeps getting better. And
I
it
don't
sounds
really
better.
fuck with Tidal too much. The only reason I haven't is just because like I get Spotify for
just say-
free.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
So I'm like
I got it for free with my phone thing, but I just
something
set
like
it
that.
up.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. Do I need another?
It's my weird thing.
But how dare you stream shame me?
Yeah, I always. I mean,
That's pointed too.
I
Pointed,
bought.
you were like, speaking from a member of the elite Tidal community.
Yeah, well, I bought all my albums from iTunes forever. I just switched because I was always
No,
like,
I'm just
whatever. I can spend $20 because I also think you value it way more.
I love that you spend more on your music a month than you spend on your Netflix.
Yeah,
That is a powerful gesture.
I don't spend any money on Netflix.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, and I spend more money than I do on my cable because I don't have cable.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
So what are you doing with your life? You're just
I work,
working,
I
performing.
work,
music.
and then I go home. I have a shower, and then I go to a show.
I have a shower.
And I just do a show, and then I go to
Do you have a
sleep.
way to listen to music in the shower? Like, do you have a system?
I
for that?
wish. No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
like my rehearsal time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You
So
run through
I-
the set in the shower?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself doing even like the
The act outs, the
say, like,
physical stuff?
Yeah,
or-
like the ad lib. Well, because like
No,
some of your act is like pretty sexual.
Yeah, no, I would. No, I just kind of run over it in my head, maybe just make sure it's all clicking.
you have a mirror in there. You gesture, make faces.
No, I just I think it's a weird. A lot of comedians will say that too. It's like where I write too. Like my girlfriend, like you had a 25-minute shower. I'm like, yeah, but I got a new bit. Like
Now,
it's just.
do you know why that is? It's the same little. It's a microcosm of the floats. That's exactly what it is. Because when people like get a few minutes to themselves to not have to think about anything,
Yeah.
to just relax, you suddenly,
Totally.
yeah, it like breaks down. All
Well,
those
the sensory
barriers.
deprivation, all that makes when you make a beat, you close your eyes, right?
Oh,
Like if you're making music, you close your eyes when you listen to it, and that's
I also
just
think
like
there's like a white noise aspect too to the shower.
yeah.
Because it's like
That's true,
So it kind
yeah.
of like occupies that audio space. That's just like, and you kind of can think through that because
That's
it's
a
not
good
like
call, yeah.
it's not like
Totally,
It's a weird sound.
It's like when your apartment's dead quiet and you're like, "Well, I should turn on like the TV and
Yeah.
I can put on like."
before the crushing loneliness catches us.
Yeah. Like I'll just put on like because we just I have Netflix, but it's just
Oh, look at this guy.
It's my girlfriend's sister's account, so we just put it on.
that's
and then I plug that in my TV, and then I'll just put on some dumb show like The Bitch in Apartment 23.
Oh yeah, Kat Dennings for you there.
I've watched about 3 minutes of it, but according to Netflix, I've watched about 20 episodes of it. I
Eric
don't know.
Andre's in that.
Yeah, that's what made me cute. I was like watching because Eric. I was like, "What's this show?"
He plays the least Eric Andre type character.
Yeah, and
ever.
it's not very funny. It's not like great
No, he's
show,
like
but it's
super vanilla. But actually, I think James Vanderbeek in that show is fucking amazing. He's really
yeah,
actually
but
good.
it's not like it's not exceptionally good. There's way better shows, but that's why I don't put it on.
Actually, funny little story about that show because I watched that whole series too, and then I went online to be like, what happened? Why did they get canceled or something? And apparently, this is fucking true. I don't know what the distributor is. One of those 3-letter major stations, whatever. Yeah. One of the major networks. Whoever owns it,
OLN.
They decided that they were done with the show, and they had like some kind of transition team in because they fired a bunch of people or whatever. People moved on, and so no one really knew what was going on with the show. So they aired the last 6 or 7 episodes of that show out of order. so like imagine you're into the show and they're like airing it out of order. So you could have saw the quote unquote season finale like the 14th episode in or something because there's like 20 episodes.
Yeah.
So they aired it out of order and then we're like, oh yeah, by the way, you're canceled. So like they didn't even let them know they were canceling it and
Weird.
they jumbled the ending. Yeah. So all the network, whatever. So when it went to Netflix, people were like, finally. But then they're also like, are these the real order? Like, is this?
Will they bring it? I wonder if they'll bring it back now because I think like a lot of people watched it. It comes up like as one of the.
I think that Kat Dennings brought. She's doing Jessica Jones.
That's not Kat Dennings.
It fucking absolutely
Kristen
is.
Ritter.
Oh shit! What did I saying?
I don't know any names.
Wait,
I'm the worst for that kind of
Either of
stuff.
those
I don't know.
It's definitely Kristen Ritter because she's Jessica Jones.
I think you're.
The other chick's
you're
on
absolutely
that
right,
really
Michael.
terrible like CBS show that's like
Hold on.
2.5 Men or whatever.
I just looked up Michael Saavedra and it says you're right.
Yeah.
Kristen Ritter. Yeah, hold on. Is she like the daughter of
John Ritter.
John Ritter? Is that true?
Daughter of a Ritter.
Yeah,
I don't know which.
there's not a lot of Ritters out there though.
Kristen Ritter. You're right. Jessica Jones and Bitch in Apartment.
Which one's she? The brunette or the?
She's the skinny. She's the mean one.
Oh, yeah, she's the bitch.
Yeah, she's the bee. The
Yeah.
bitch. Yeah. You can say it. It's okay.
Yeah, the thing that's weird about that show is that they make it seem like she's like unbearably hot, and I'm like, yeah, she's pretty, but she's not like, oh my
No.
god, like she's gonna control every man that's ever seen her. I'm like, yeah, she's
Here's the weird
like
thing.
she's like stalkers and all this stuff, and like that guy following around. I'm like, yeah, she's
Do you
cute.
think it's okay? Let me
but
ask you this, like, because in this context,
she's not like Kim Kardashian, hot,
right.
you know?
Come on, yeah, bring
Just
her up
kidding.
again. Well, here, let me ask you this, because sometimes people get backlash for like, oh, don't rate women by numbers. That's very sexist. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But in this context, you literally were just like, people act like she's hot in the show, but she's not. She's like, she could easily be a numerical rating here that we could give that would
Yeah,
actually make sense.
She's an 8.
She's a soft 8.
Yeah, for just
Oh,
I mean,
no.
yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
no.
This is.
I'm joking.
In the context that we're saying, we're not saying that.
Yeah,
her,
and
her
I'm thinking,
work-
and I'm speaking of television.
Yes,
like
in a
there's a
trope.
certain because like if I saw her on the street, she'd probably be a 10 in my
yeah.
mind. But in the television world, there's no real ugly people. So in
That's right.
comparison to everyone around her, I'm like, you don't stand out more than any other character on the show. Your roommate's just as pretty as you are, if not prettier.
That's right.
If
If
it looked like a real place and they went into a bar and there was ugly people there and everything, I'm like, oh yeah, she's clearly.
Yeah.
But everyone in that world is beautiful. So I'm
That's
like, yeah,
right.
she's just kind of one of the other beautiful people.
She, the blonde in that show, though, she's.
Yeah, there's not a single ugly person. Even the neighbor is like supposed to be creepy. Like he's still like a nice looking guy.
And just to further add to your point, at one point Eric Andre tries to make a move on the blonde, and he's like, "Well, I know you're out of my league."
Spoiler.
Like, Eric
Spoiler.
Andre is like also pushed as like a guy hot enough.
Yeah.
You know, like so. Just in this world, it's kind of a weird situation. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always find that weird. I can't help but not notice when it's like everyone on the show is beautiful, but we're gonna all be crazy about this one that she's so beautiful.
Well, you know what's really kind of weird is that the Bachelorette of Canada right now is from my hometown.
I know her. She's really good friends with Mike. She used to work at the hair salon that we're right next to right now. She works with my girlfriend, and she's a friend of mine.
Oh, so you know Jasmine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we went to the same high school.
So like-
we went to the same high school.
Yeah.
And it's been an interesting experience coming home from the podcast every week,
Seeing her face on the side of every bus,
and like having my fiance being like, "Oh my God, did you know what happened? Oh my God!" And the funny thing is, like, I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes with her, and I was like, she's gonna pick the guy from Central. She's gonna go with like Jock McJock, 100%. How do I know this? Because I grew up with 100 girls like her.
Yeah, totally.
I know
yeah.
everything. That like,
And I'm also
it's gonna happen. Yeah. Anyway, I'd be surprised if it doesn't go that way. But
I don't think. I mean, has a relationship ever lasted to by the time they aired the show?
The last U.S. one from Vancouver.
Jillian?
No.
I know who that was because my girlfriend at the time used to watch. That was the American.
She's like obsessed. My girl's obsessed.
My girlfriend at the time. This is like during 2010. Watched that show all the time, and then me and her broke up. My girlfriend, and then Canada won the gold medal, and I went to a bar, and then I looked to my left, and I was like, "Holy shit, you're fucking
way.
Jillian!" And then I was like, I've had to endure what? No offense, but I've had to watch your stupid fucking show every week because of my girlfriend. I'm like just broke up with her. I'm like hammered drunk, and I was with
the the greatest day.
Then I just started
history.
asking her all these like questions, like, so was he really a dick? Like,
Tell me about the fantasy suite.
yeah. Also, I worked for So You Think You Can Dance Canada, so I know how much bullshit.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I worked on when we used to film here every year. I would do it.
Oh, we have to talk about this because we'll talk about this off the air because I have a couple questions because
It's all a lie.
Well, I have a client that is
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. I have a client that is like went through the ranks in that. So I'll talk to you about that after.
Yeah, but they used to be like it's not all a lie, but you just see how
Well, Wes Barker broke on this show that basically every talent show is just completely fabricated.
Well, what they do is they get they go, we got 10,000 people here lined up. Those 10,000 people, they audition at 40 people at a time for producers, and then the next day they whittle it down, and then the next day, and then what they do is they pick the most talented, most beautiful people, and then the most mentally ill people, and then they market the show using mentally ill people, and then you cry then they make Facebook videos out of the other ones. That's what it is. These are people with severe mental illness, and then they make it. My friend Conrad, friend I grew up with in high school, his brother killed himself. He sold his guitar, bought $2,000 worth of bad acid, and fried his brain to the point that he would just stand on the street playing a guitar with no strings, screaming at the sky. He's completely mental.
Whoa.
They used him for like 3 seasons in the commercials for that Canadian Idol show.
Really?
I was like, that's a guy with severe brain damage.
What was your...
look how stupid this guy is. He thinks he can sing. What an idiot this guy is. And they don't give you a fucking dollar, and they make you go back 4 days in a row and keep auditioning and giving you hope. It's a gross business.
What was your role in that then? Like, what was your...
Well, then, So You Think You Dance?
Yeah.
I was just like I was a volunteer because I was going to broadcasting school, and they're like, if you have volunteer hours on a production, it'll help. And then they're like, oh, you're the biggest guy here. Can you drive? So I got hired to drive around the celebrity judges, like the big Mary Murphy, her name was. She was the judge from the American version. I pick her up from the airport and take her shopping. And
was she a pleasant lady?
She was really nice. And like I just basically spent time stopping like Asian guys from trying to like hug her. Like it was like that's basically what it was. It was just like a lot of guys. Oh my God, Mary Murphy! Like I didn't want to be like I don't know. It's weird to say racially, but it was predominantly Asian gay men that were losing their mind. I guess I don't know if they're good dancers or something.
This is Trump's America. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can say
but that's what it was.
want.
It was like I'm like, wow, there's a lot of Asian men that go crazy over you.
That's funny though. I think that's fucking hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, we should let you know right now, if you have not yet, make sure you get yourself some tickets. Check out the very funny, the very talented James Kennedy. He'll be at Vancouver Yuks. That's December 8th through 10th. And then the following week, if you're in Abbotsford, he'll be at Yuks Abbotsford. And that is on December 15th through the 17th. He's a fantastic fella.
Yeah.
We love this guy. He's amazing. Mr. Saavedra, how can people follow you if they want to follow you?
Follow me at the Saavedra on Twitter. That'd be great.
Yeah, and C-Mart, how can people follow you? You know, it's a well-known fact you're followable. Followable.
Not really.
Don't bother.
Way you go home, kid.
Yeah. It literally says "Don't bother."
Boomsday Alliance.
Check out the Boomsday Alliance Instagram though, y'all. You'll like that. James Kennedy, how can people follow you?
At Jimmy K Comedy on Twitter and Instagram.
Fucking right. You are always welcome on the show.
Yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. I'm sorry I had to get out here early because I
No,
had
that's
this other
okay.
show, but I would love to come back and do this again. It was fun.
Of
course.
I would love that, man. This was actually one of the most natural and smooth episodes we've done, maybe ever. Since
Oh,
we've ever
and
been
then
here,
now we've got Kanye out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
because it's just.
I'm sure that won't ever come up again.
Anyone who's going to listen to a podcast, like I did Kathleen McGee's podcast, and it was just me and Chris Griffin versus her arguing why Kanye is great, and her arguing why he's a piece of shit. Like that, we did an hour and 15 minutes of us being like, greatest artist of our time.
Those are lovely people too. We like those guys too.
Yeah.
I will say this: if you guys want to follow the podcast, please do so by going to Intergalactic Interviews. You can search us on YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher. Also, if you'd be so kind to leave us a review, we'd love that, man, because
We need them.
That's how you get ahead. And sometimes you gotta just get down on your metaphorical knees, unzip the pants of your fan base, and just ask them for a favor. That's
I'm gonna
how-
give you a 5-star review right now. 'Cause
Boom.
I don't know if I've done it, and I always try to do that. Because it makes a huge difference.
It does make a huge difference, and you know what? Thanks, James Kennedy. Look at that. He's gonna take the plunge, folks, like it's a telethon.
But it does,
He's gonna
like,
take the
that's-
plunge himself.
Yeah.
He'll get a tote bag.
We appreciate you guys listening. I will say this: you guys are awesome. We appreciate you guys listening every week. We do get all your feedback, so just shoot us emails, whatever the fuck you guys want to do. We appreciate that. And that's about it. Oh, one quick note, just as the music's queuing up here that we can all clearly hear.
Yeah.
I'll just say thank you very much to Steve Kitchen from Combination 13 for our brand new logo. God
Looks good.
damn, looks fucking good. We love you guys so much. We'll see you all next week. Boosh.